Hi, welcome to my April 2023 current account news and offers update. I'll start off talking about some bank switching deals. I'll take you through some other changes that have gone on with a number of banks, and then I'll finish off with some deal information that's worth knowing about as well. So bank switching deals. Since my last update, there has been a new offer, but it's been and gone, and that was the Halifax deal. But I did a whole video on that, so hopefully you saw that and you didn't miss out. Otherwise, I've got no new offers to tell you about. The only ones that are still running are £175 from First Direct and £200 from NatWest, RBS or Ulster Bank. They're the two core ones running right now. A little bit of information on each of those, a little bit of an update on each of these, so it could be quite useful for you. The First Direct one, the £175, if you've not yet taken advantage of this, then check out the offer on the cashback site Quidco. If you sign up for the account via Quidco, you'll get a £30 or £40 bonus. For me, it's showing up 40 quid all the time. Incognito tab 40 quid, though some of you said it's showing as 30, so one of the two prices for you. Apply for the account via Quidco, and then once you've got the account, do the switch. Obviously, make sure you do meet the switching criteria and eligibility. So that's a nice little bit extra cash on top of that. Sticking with First Direct, this is a trial that's being run out there. Shell shared this in the Facebook group. If you're not already a member, do come and join us there. becleverwithyourcash.com/community is a short URL. But Shell got an email, as did a couple of other members of the community. And this is targeted just a handful of people. Not everyone's getting it. I didn't get it. But they are trying out a £75 switching deal if you switch from a different bank into First Direct as an existing customer. So fingers crossed that this does become something they roll out. They like the idea of it and it works, and we all get a chance to do this, because if you've had a First Direct account for a long time like I have, then all these lovely deals that come along, you can't take advantage, because one of their criteria is you cannot already have a First Direct account. So if that does go national, if it does become a proper thing, I'll obviously let you know in a future update. Let's talk also about that NatWest, RBS or Ulster Bank promotion. Now, this one, if you watched my video about this a few weeks ago, you'll know I told you that one of the terms and conditions is you can only get this money from one of the banks. It very, very clearly states that. In fact, let me read it out for you now so you exactly what they say. You will not be eligible for this offer if you, or in the case of a joint account, either account holder, have already taken out advantage of a cash switcher offer from NatWest, Royal Bank of Scotland and or Ulster Bank between the 1st of October 2017 and the 13th of February 2023. So cut and dried, yeah, you choose your bank you're going to switch into and you get the money. And if you've had it already in that period from one of the other banks, then tough luck, you're not going to get it again. However, in the Facebook group that I mentioned before, quite a few people, more and more people, have been saying, I haven't got just one bank switching deal. I've got two. Some people even three. All of those banks they've switched into them from a different bank, and they have got £200 each time. Now, it goes against those terms of service, right? The terms and conditions say you can't do this, but people have got the cash. So I had a go, a little experiment. I thought I've got a spare account sitting around, a Virgin Money account, and we'll come back to that in a second. I may as well give it a go. So I opened up the RBS account, just a normal standard one. Didn't go for the reward account, just a normal standard account. Switched into it. It's a very easy switch. You can check out the video from a few weeks back, which explains how it works. Don't know how long this will last, incidentally. There's still no set end date for this, so it could go at any time. See what happened. And within a couple of weeks, I got that £200 as well. Now, this could be an error. And it could well be that they turn around and go, right, sorry about this. It was against our terms and conditions. We told you wouldn't be able to get this money, and they may well ask us for this back. So I'm keeping that money in there for now, just to see what happens. And I can't guarantee that if you try this, that you will also be able to do it. But I'm just letting you know what has happened, and you can use that information as you wish. Now, I said there, while we're on bank switching, one more thing to talk about here. I said that I switched away from an old Virgin Money account. If you've been watching the channel for a long time, you might be one of the people who opened up multiple Virgin Money accounts when it was offering the best rate of interest on savings, but only on a small amount. Now, that's been left well behind now. So really, you don't need any accounts, let alone one. But I had three of these. I've switched one already, and this other one I switched the other day. It obviously closes the current account. That goes. But the M Saver account that came with it, which is the one which actually had some decent for interest for a while as well, that stays open. And because I still had a Virgin Money account open, I didn't really pay any attention to this. I still had a current account as well, even though I switched away. But over in the group, a couple of people noticed that they did this, and all of a sudden, they were left with this Saver account, and that was all that was in the app. But there's no way of transferring money out of the M Saver account anywhere else. So within the app, at least, you need another account to transfer it into. So I could transfer it into that remaining, if I had any money in there, that remaining Virgin Money current account, M Plus current account. Others can't. So someone in the group, Adrian, he shared that he had to get a form, download a form and fill that in and send that to Virgin Money in order for them to send the money back to him that was still left in that account. And a really, really good suggestion from Adrian as well was to make sure you do this when the interest, as soon as the interest has been paid into it. Because if not, you're going to have to do it again at a later date to get the couple of pennies left that then get paid in interest subsequently. Or alternatively, maybe you could open up a different savings product which doesn't require a current account or anything like that. So maybe it's an ISA, maybe it's a normal instant access account, and it also allows you to transfer money out of Virgin Money into a different account, and you can do an internal transfer from your M-Saver account. But it's worth knowing about that if you do switch away, or recover all the money across before you switch, or find ways out of it. Okay, that's switching news. Some other information to tell you about. Loads more bank branches are going to close. I've told you about some of these before. They seem to announce them on a quite regular basis. But over the last month, we've had announcements from Barclays, NatWest, RBS, Halifax, Lloyds, and Bank of Scotland, all closing a number of branches. In total, we're talking already this year across all the different banks, probably a couple of hundred. You can find out from each individual bank website why branches are closing and which one. I've also got lists on my website of all the different branches that are going and when they're going. So if you want to find out if yours are going, then do have a look at that. I've talked before about what to do if your bank is closing, so I won't go into a huge amount of detail on it right now, but headlines are you can still obviously use a post office if there are no other branches around you. Hopefully you have got a post office for simple banking, paying in money, taking some money out, but there are limitations. Or you might want to open up an account at a different bank. Again, I wouldn't necessarily suggest you switch. You open up an additional account at these new accounts. If you wish to, you can still keep that old account. And it might be worth doing that if you had it for a long time, for that longevity on your credit report. Now, Halifax, this has been solved now, so I'll be very quick on this. But some of you might have experienced tracking issues on your Halifax reward account in late March, mid to late March. It's probably for a couple of weeks this wasn't happening. On your app, if you go into the app, so you click on your account and you click on the little dots, and if you scroll down that more menu, you'll get to track your rewards. It's a great way just to check that the money into the account and the payment on your debit card have gone through that month. I mean, you will get your, whether it's £5 a month or a cinema ticket, whatever it might be, that is working. Well, that tracking thing stopped working and people were concerned, like, what's going on here? Have my payments just not tracked? Or has Halifax come wise to the hack that I've spoken about often on this channel, where you don't actually have to spend money on your debit card in a proper way? You can use it to top up a digital card account like Revolut or an NS&I savings account. And again, I've got a whole video taking you through over there in that corner, taking you through that. So if you're interested in that, do check it out. So people are a bit worried, maybe they can't do that anymore. Well, rest assured, I got in touch with Halifax and they told me they were aware of the problem. They were getting it fixed. It was still tracking underneath. It was just on the surface, basically. You couldn't see it on the app, but it was still working. And it should, hopefully, have come through by the end of March and told you it tracked fine. The money comes through normally around the 12th of the month. So 12th of April. Have a look, just make sure your £5 has come through if that's the reward that you've selected for the previous month, as long as you met the criteria, the eligibility criteria. If you met the criteria and the money hasn't come through, then obviously get in touch with Halifax to make sure they do give you that freebie. Quick one here, if you have a TSB account, they have now added the feature to the app for you to scan a cheque with your phone and pay it in. Most banks do this now. When I first started talking about that, there were maybe 2 or 3 banks that let you do it. But every couple of months, a new bank adds to it. In fact, it's probably more prevalent to say which banks don't do it. I have got a whole article on the blog taking you through that in more detail, but who actually really gets checks anymore. It's a feature which not many of us are going to use, but it's worth knowing about. So TSB, you can now add a cheque in. Overdraft, something here for First Direct and HSBC customers. I've mentioned this before. This was an offer that was meant to run to the end of March, but has now been extended until the 10th of May. It's been reported by Money Saving Expert. This is the case. If you want to, you can request a 0% overdraft for 12 months of up to £500. At the moment, First Direct will give you 250 quid. So this doubles it for 12 months. With HSBC, it's only 50 quid. So it makes it a much, much larger one, up to 500 quid. Just bear in mind, if you do get this 0% overdraft for that year, when that 12 months is up, it will revert to the normal rate. So 250 for First Direct, 50 for HSBC. Anything above those amounts will be hit by what is pretty much a normal overdraft rate of 39%, 40%. So just be aware, it's good for short term, but maybe careful not to, in a year's time, you don't get stuck in that buffer. But again, if it's useful to you, you have to apply for this. It's not automatic. Right, let's end then with a couple of deals that are worth sharing with you. One of them, just a heads up here when it comes to Chase Bank. I did a whole video about this last month when they announced the extension of that 1% cashback beyond the first year. But if you haven't had a Chase account at all in the past and you want to get that 1% cashback without a £15 monthly cap, you have to apply by the end of April, by the end of this month. People who apply for the account from the 1st of May onwards will have that £15 monthly cap always. Obviously, if you're an existing user and you then renew for an additional year, you will have that £15 cap. And also you'll have that £500 you have to pay in the prior month in order to be eligible for that. But it's worth knowing about that. If you haven't had it, good time to maybe apply is this month. What else to tell you about in terms of deals? Oh, I told you a few months ago about YouGov Finance, where you can add current accounts, savings accounts, and credit cards to YouGov Finance, connect it in the same way you would open banking with one of those aggregators or any other kind of things. And in turn, for to give them access to your data, your financial data, you would get up to, for each account, 500 points for a current account or a credit card, or 100 points for a savings account. That 500 points is worth a £5. Once you've got a balance of 50 quid, you could say cash it out for 500 points, cash it out for 50 quid. So nice way to get some decent little bit of money there. They've made some changes to this. There is now a cap of 10 accounts that you can add every 90 days. So that still means if you add 10 current accounts and credit cards, if like me, you've got those, you might not have as many, but if you've got those, which would be 50 quid every 90 days, so 200 quid a year, fantastic. But a word of warning, when you are adding these accounts via open banking, often it will give you a choice of which accounts you want to connect. When I did it, I was going through them and I started to add my Monzo account. It automatically added not just my main Monzo current account, but a couple of different pots that I had set up. Now those pots count as savings accounts, which means rather than getting 500 points for those, I got 100 points for each of those. So rather than given the opportunity to get 1,500 points or 15 quid, I only got 700 points or £7 added. And that cut me off because that took me to my limit of 10 different accounts. So if you are doing it, bear in mind, maybe be careful with Monzo. Do that maybe right at the end, do all the others first of all, and then maybe other accounts where something similar happens. But again, YouGov Finance, do check it out. It's worth getting this just for that extra cash every 3 months. And the last thing to tell you about is Club Lloyds. The Club Lloyds account, I'm a big fan of this one because you don't have to do much, but you do get a benefit every single month. They have added a brand new lifestyle benefit. In fact, this replaces the rentals from Rakuten, which was 2 movie rentals every single month. That's now gone. In its place is a year of Disney Plus. Now, Disney Plus is $7.99 a month, or actually, if you did pay for it up front for a year, it's $79.90. So that's the equivalent value you're getting as your lifestyle benefit. This is available from beginning of May. But if you are someone who has signed up in April onwards, from 1st of April onwards, or you've already got a lifestyle benefit when that ends, as long as that ends, again, from 1st of April onwards, you'll be able to select from the 1st of May, Disney Plus, and that will last for 12 months. If you have already got an account and you're halfway through, or 11 months through, whatever it might be, 2 months in, whatever it is, you won't be able to select it until that year is up. However, there is a workaround, and that's if you're able to open up a joint account. Because you can have only one personal Club Lloyds account, but you can also have a joint account. So in theory, you can open up a new joint account if you've got someone you can do that with, and that will mean you can get that free year of Disney Plus as well as what you're already getting right now. And in fact, if you're doing that, you may as well have one account each and a joint account. So maybe you get cinema tickets, a magazine subscription, and the Disney between you. And all you have to do is make sure you transfer money into the account every single month in order to avoid the fee. And a quick reminder there, that did increase on the 1st of April from £1,500 a month to £2,000 a month. But again, you can put that same $2,000 into one account and transfer it between all three, or you can do it in smaller segments of £500 or whatever it might be. It just needs to be in there in the calendar month. One quick thing though, on joint account, just bear in mind, if you do want to open up a joint account with someone, if you haven't already done this, it will financially link you with that person. So just make sure that if you are going to do that, that's not going to have any knock-on effect on your own credit report by doing that. It's not worth it just to get a year of Disney Plus. My name is Andy Webb. Any new bank switching deals, I'll obviously tell you about them here on the channel. So make sure you hit subscribe and check out these videos for more ways to get the most from your banking.